everyone, welcome back. It's time for another book haul. I've got some books I acquired from a library sale, half-price books, and also from work at Barnes & Noble, so I'm just going to get started. The first two items I have were from a library sale. They were like $1 each, and they're actually magazines, not books, although they look like books. And this one is published in the autumn of 2001. It's Granta, the magazine of new writing, and this particular issue is entitled Brief Encounters. And I picked it up because I saw some authors I wanted to try out, and one in particular really caught my eye. Paul Theroux, I've heard of him before. I think he also has done some travel writing. But I saw the title of this one. I had to get it at the Villa Moro. You know, my last name. Kind of curious what it's about, so couldn't pass that up. And the other one is an issue from 2006. And this one is On the Road Again, where travel writing went next. So it's all features short stories of travel writing, and I picked it up because one of the authors I really enjoy, Tim Parks, wrote a story in here. I read one of his books called Italian Neighbors, and I really enjoyed that one. So this one is Trenitalia, and looking forward to reading that one and trying out some of these other authors too. And the third item I got was a graphic novel. I saw it a couple times when I visited and didn't pick it up right away, and this time I decided to give it a try. And it's called Agnes Quill, an Anthology of Mystery. And it's all written, like all the transcripts are written by Dave Roman, but they're illustrated by, there's like 4 different stories illustrated by different people. The last one being illustrated by Dave Roman. First one's called The Mummified Heirloom and the Divided Man. Then there's Lost and Found, Zombie Love Trap, and Buried Homes and Gardens. And the final one is Invite Only. And it was interesting because of the different artistic styles. Like this is the first one, and it really varies on some of these storylines. Like this is the second story, so you can see the artwork is really dramatically different, and then this one kind of is similar to the first one, and that's like the fourth one, different yet again. So I'm curious to see how these all sort of tie together. And then there's like at the back excerpts from the journals of Agnes Quill. Yeah, little entries and things like that. So I'm kind of curious to see what exactly this is or how these all tie together. But it sounded interesting, and again, it was pretty cheap. I could probably give it a try. The next two items I picked up at Half Price Books. This one I actually have on my Kindle, and I've never actually started it. And I thought, well, I saw a physical copy of it. I thought I'd pick it up. And that's Soulless by Gail Carriger. It's the first in the Parasol Protectorate series, and it's sort of a steampunk book. I'll go ahead and read the back for you. It says, Alexia Terabati is laboring under a great many social tribulations. First, she has no soul. Second, she's a spinster whose father is both Italian and dead. Third, she was rudely attacked by a vampire, breaking all standards of social etiquette. Where to go from there? From bad to worse, apparently, for Alexia accidentally kills the vampire, and then the appalling Lord Macon, loud, messy, gorgeous, and werewolf, is sent by Queen Victoria to investigate. With unexpected vampires appearing and expected vampires disappearing, everyone seems to believe Alexia is responsible. Can she figure out what is actually happening to London's high society? Will her soulless ability to negate supernatural powers prove useful or just plain embarrassing? Finally, who is the real enemy, and do they have treacle tart? So, yeah, novel of vampires, werewolves, and Parasol. Sounds a little, steampunkish and humor thrown in to boot. So I've heard a lot of good things about this, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. And the other item I got from there was Lemony Snicket's Who Could That Be at This Hour? And it's one of those hardcovers with that dust jacket, middle grade book. Yeah, I haven't read anything from Lemony Snicket since the series of unfortunate events, and I've never actually finished that series, so I may someday go back to it and read my way through. I think I got up to maybe book 8 or so, but yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that one out. The other items I all purchased or received from Barnes & Noble, the first one being an advanced copy. I think this is adult fiction. It sounded really good, though. The Butterfly Sister, Gail Hansen. I like the cover with that old-fashioned lock, and it's actually kind of raised. This is, of course, the ARC copy, so I don't know what the finished copy will look like. And this is put out by William Morrow, an imprint of HarperCollins. And I will go ahead and read the back for you. It says, 22-year-old Ruby Rousseau is haunted by memories of Tarbell, the women's college she fled 10 months ago, and the painful love affair that pushed her to the brink of tragedy. When a suitcase belonging to a former classmate named Beth arrives on her doorstep, Ruby is plunged into a dark mystery. Beth has gone missing, and the suitcase is only tangible evidence of her whereabouts. Inside the bag, Ruby discovers a tattered copy of Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, the book she believes was a harbinger of her madness. Is someone trying to send her a message, and what does it mean? The search for answers leads to Tarble. As Ruby digs into Beth's past, she is forced to confront her own past, an odyssey that will lead her to re-examine her final days at school, including the married professor who broke her heart, and the ghosts of illustrious writers dead by their own hand who beckoned her to join their tragic circle. But will finding the truth finally set Ruby free, or send her over the edge of sanity? It says the author lives in the suburb of Chicago, so she's fairly local. I read just like the first sentence of it. It's like one of those first sentences that kind of grab you, although the synopsis definitely did too. It just begins, Gwen could not have been more explicit at our first session. I was to cease reading books by or about women who killed themselves. So yeah, sounds really good. Looking forward to trying that one. This next book I picked up in the bargain bin. They have like a paperback, a trade paperback assortment. They're all $3.99, everything in this assortment. They've got some really good titles there, so if you have a Barnes & Noble near you, you might want to check that out. And I picked this one up. It's called Popko by Scarlett Thomas. She's the author of The End of Mr. Y and Our Tragic Universe, which I've shown in some of the book hauls before. I haven't actually started reading any of her books yet, but I couldn't pass this up. It's like I said, $3.99. Let's see. It says, Alice Butler has been receiving some pretty odd messages. All anonymous, all written in simple code, all eerily vague but pointed enough to show that the sender has been watching her closely. Are the messages from someone at PopCo, the slightly sinister, profit-hungry toy company that has herded Alice and its other top creatives out to a secluded thought camp? Are they from Alice's long-disappeared treasure-hunting father? Are they from someone who knows that her cryptanalyst grandfather left her the key to finding that treasure? Is Quiet Ben, Alice's new love, hiding something that could help her discover that source? And could it be that these codes will lead Alice to a secret even more carefully guarded than her own? So it sounded pretty interesting. Looking forward to trying that. I'll probably want to read The End of Mr. Y first, because I've had that sitting on my shelf for a while. And then hopefully I'll get to that soon. This is a book I've been hearing about a lot on YouTube. A lot of people seem to really enjoy it. And it's just different enough that I set in a different community that I really want to try out. And that's the Hallowed ones by Laura Bickle. Set in like an Amish community. For those of you who don't know what it's about, I'll read the back. If your home was the last safe place on earth, would you let a stranger in? Katie is on the verge of her Rumspringa, the time in Amish life when teenagers are free to experience non-Amish culture before officially joining the church. But before Rumspringa arrives, Katie's safe world starts to crumble. It begins with a fiery helicopter crash in the cornfields, followed by rumors of massive unrest and the disappearance of huge numbers of people all over the world. Something is out there, and it is making a killing. Unsure why they haven't yet been attacked, the Amish elders make a decree. No one goes outside their community, and no one is allowed in. But when Katie finds a gravely injured young man lying just outside the boundary of their land, she can't leave him to die. She refuses to submit to the elders' rule, and secretly brings the stranger into her community. But what else is she bringing in with him? So, yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to that one. The next one is a second book in a series by Heather Anastasiu. It's Override. This is the sequel to Glitch. Not sure what the series is called. It doesn't really indicate it, but yeah, I read Glitch and I really enjoyed it, so I'm not going to read the synopsis being book 2, but I am looking forward to that. Sort of a dystopian story. Really, really interesting. The next 2 books are just continuing in my Death Note Black Edition collection, and this should finish out the series. I have the bind-up for number 5, and this contains volumes 9 and 10, and then volume 6 in the Black Edition, which contains 11 and 12. So that should complete the Death Note series. So these are the last 2 bind-ups I have to read in that. And the final 3 books I have are a new manga series that's, I think there's about maybe 6 books out so far, and I've kind of seen them, and I decided to give them a try because they look nicely creepy. And it's called Parasite. This is by Hitoshi Iwaaki. This is book 1. You can see there are, yes, eyeballs sticking out of that hand. And then there's book 2. And the hand is turned into eyes with claws. And then book 3, which is super weird. But I'll go ahead and read the synopsis on book 1 here for you. It says, Silent Invasion. They arrive in silence and darkness. They descend from the skies. They have a hunger for human flesh. They are everywhere. They are parasites, alien creatures who survive, must invade, and take control of a human host. Once they have infected their victims, they can assume any deadly form they choose. Monsters with giant teeth, winged demons, creatures with blades for their hands. But most have chosen to conceal their lethal purpose behind ordinary human faces. So no one knows their secret, except an ordinary high school student. Shin is battling for control of his own body against an alien parasite, but can he find a way to warn humanity of the horrors to come? And this one says include special extras after the story. Give you an idea. That's what some of the artwork looks like in there. And like it's not all cluttered, kind of nice and clean lines and everything, black and white, of course. But yeah, sounded pretty cool. Nice and weird, a little bit of a horror type manga, alien invasion, which follows really well on the fifth wave I'm reading right now. So that's pretty cool. The only thing I got in this haul to show you are some bookmarks which I picked up. I got like 4 of them. I couldn't pass it up. I've been seeing a lot of these. I don't know if you've seen them. Those 3D kind of bookmarks, and there wasn't anything I really liked until I saw this one, and I had to get it because it had puppies. Look at the puppies. I don't know if the 3D effect will work here. Closer. It was just too cute. And these 3, I had to get these. These are awesome because they're Doctor Who bookmarks. This is the TARDIS in the Van Gogh style because there's an episode where they meet Van Gogh. And then I got the Daleks, Exterminate. And finally, Doctor Who with all the doctors. So I thought those were super, super cool, so I had to pick them up. So that's my book haul. Hope you guys found something to add to your list. And let me know if you guys got anything really good lately. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.